are some cops who are like, I want to help people.
I do believe that there are people who get into it because they want to help. You know, Hari Kondabolu?
Yeah.
He used to have a joke about when people were like, it's just a few bad apples. And he's like, but the rest of that phrase is spoils the bunch. A few bad apples spoil the bunch. These are obviously important things to be thinking about. Like, there weren't even police, not even for the whole time our country existed. I mean, it came from like slave patrols. It's so weird that once you're born, once you start being a person, everything from before, you're just like, well, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's kids born now that are like, ICE exists.
ICE has always been around. Myq Kaplan, you're my guest today. I'm so happy you're here. I think you're so funny. You're so nice. One of the nicest people in comedy, really.
That's very kind of you
sweetheart.
to say. You know, my girlfriend shared with me long ago, and I love this, the idea that we see the world not as it is, but as we are. So for you to see niceness in me, there must secretly, or not so secretly, be hidden niceness in you.
Wow.
So thank you.
I think a lot of people would say it is hidden. I think a few people would say that.
Not me. It's right out
you.
here. Thank you for your generous hosting of me on your show. I'm happy to be here. I love you and your work. I think I hear you frequently on like Dan Savage's podcast, one of my faves. And
he's great.
Yeah, and I love talking to you, so happy to get into it.
I'm happy to talk TV with you.
Yes.
So you're in LA right now. Are you doing a tour?
So I have a new special coming out November 19th. It's called Rini, which is my girlfriend's name. We made it together over the past many years, and we're super excited to get it into the world. So that is, you know, arguably, if a computer screen is TV, that qualifies. And so I'm out here on, you know, a podcast junket of sorts. I'm here thrilled to talk to you for its own sake, and also bonus, would love everyone to
watch Rini.
Watch Rini, in quotes, the special. Don't just stare
Don't just
at my.
watch.
Yeah, I mean, if she's out in public,
Don't
feel
just
free to
watch
look at her.
his
She's
wife.
beautiful. Outside and in, you can't see the inside until you ask. But so we're here for that. I also did film. I taped a TV show while I was here, so appropriate for. I did some, you know, prep work for this podcast. I filmed an episode of Byron Allen's Comics Unleashed.
Ah, yes, Comics Unleashed.
On your radar?
I do watch it sometimes very late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
12:30 CBS. I don't know exactly when my episode will air, but Maria Bamford was one of the other guests, so that was incredible. One of my favorite humans and comedians.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so then just doing a bunch of shows. I don't know when this will air, but this Sunday, as we talk to each other, I'll be headlining a show in the afternoon at Dynasty Typewriter. And then, you know, spots all over town. Going to visit my aunt and uncle in Palm Springs tonight.
Yeah. You going to do any shows out there?
I will do one show tonight.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you do that? Like sometimes if I go and just like I'm seeing a cousin, they'll be like, why don't you just do something at the local little comedy house so I can see you? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a thing.
Yeah, it definitely, I don't know. Yeah, obviously every comedian is different, and every human's relationship to their family is probably different. You know, like I'm happy to have my family at shows. It may, influence exactly what I do and what, you know, I feel like I'm happy, like if I'm filming a special, like I do the jokes the way I want to do them, and if my family comes, they see them.
Yep.
But you know, if I'm doing a show, I've done I've done clean shows, I've done cruise ships, I've done corporate things. Like I have jokes. I have a number of clean albums.
Yeah.
So like my mom enjoys a clean comedy show, and I can provide her that. I feel like my aunt and uncle are actually they're like, you know, aunts and uncles are in general cooler.
Yeah, I mean, I wish my mom liked a clean comedy show. I wish she preferred clean comedy. She'll give me jokes sometimes, and I'm like, I did not want you to say that to me.
Oh,
I don't,
sure.
Like, I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not gonna say that, and I didn't want to know that about you. Thank you, though. So personal. Like, wow.
And I mean, probably that. I don't know. Do you think that has anything to do with what has led to you being the human being and artist that you are?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I TMI all the time. I never know I'm not supposed to say things, and I'm like, my mom just would literally like scream everything personal about her life. Just it didn't matter.
Yeah, as above, so below. Yeah.
And now that's me. That's me. So I love that your new special, you did it with your wife. Are you pro working with your partner?
100%.
In entertainment, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is the way that I think about it is. So she is super, she's not a comedian, but she loves comedy and she loves me and she is funny and artistic and creative and makes her own, you know, art in the world in various ways. And she has very strong opinions. Like in the past 5 years, like right at the beginning of the pandemic, like she started doing some deep dive research into like autism and self-diagnosed, and then we're like, oh yeah, probably us and everyone in our family and everyone that we know. Who knows? But she, especially because women and girls often go misdiagnosed because they're like, well, they're not into trains, so probably not autistic.
Not autistic.
But the way that it manifests for her is, she has I feel like a Greta Thunberg like sense of justice and propriety, and like in comedy, she once said, she's like, I don't think, she's like, I can't be a comedian because I want jokes to make sense. And so like we have experiences where like I would tell a joke and it works, and she'd be like, but that's not exactly the truth. And I'm like, but I would, and
they're like, but that's not what happened.
But I would listen to her and I'd be like, okay, I'll try to take it apart and put it back together, and if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna do it the original way. But almost always like adding the truth, adding sense and logic, like it makes it like a double joke. And so since like 2018, she came to Edinburgh with me when I was doing a show there and watched pretty much every show I did and sort of took notes and like would be like, hey, you did it this way, that way, and this way the other time. And which one do you like? She's like, I like it this way. Do you have a reason for doing it this other way? And so we, kind of get, she's very caring, very thoughtful. And like, so this project especially is one that we really, it started from, sometimes she would say things to me, and I like wouldn't necessarily register them, and then later I'd be like, I have an idea, and she'd be like, my idea from earlier, and I'm like, what do you mean? And
I said that actually.
So now she is like, I in the beginning, like she was not as necessary. She was like, oh, I guess maybe the thing that I said wasn't that funny an idea or meaningful a thing or whatever. But after a pattern developed of me, actually like internalizing it and being like, yes, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Now sometimes she'll be like, hey, this is a good, and if I don't respond, like if I'm just looking at something else or not fully focused, she'll be like, this is the idea. I'm like, that is a good idea, and I'll jot it down. So this show is like, some of the ideas are just things that she said that she didn't know were funny that I'm like, that's funny. Some things that she did know were funny for sure, and some things that were like either my original idea that she punched up or offered tweaks to.
Wow.
Like it's just a total collaboration.
Yeah.
Cute. And so
that's so cute. I feel like in comedy that's hard to find if you're not dating another comedian.
Yeah, I know like Jim Gaffigan and his wife, collaborate. They both write.
Yeah,
and he
Maria
performs.
Bamford, her and her husband, they did like a little comic book thing together.
Oh yeah,
and
totally.
Then, Lady Dynamite was like all about how they met, and her memoir is about him a lot.
Oh yeah, I love. She is my favorite. I love that book. I love that show. I have the comic book. I haven't read it yet, but
how do you decide how much of like your relationship and how much to share of this person who isn't an entertainer? I always love that stuff.
So yeah, the final thing I'll say about it is there's this old, I feel like it's a David Cross joke, but it might be somebody else, about how like if you're a gay man in a relationship with another gay man and you're approximately the same size, then you have doubled your wardrobe. And so Rini and I, we are not the same gender. We don't have the same style, like in clothing. We are not the same size, but I feel like we complement each other in artistic, creative, like comedic style. So I feel like getting together with her, because she's not a comedian, I have doubled my wardrobe of jokes. Of joke ingredients, of ideas, because like she both knows me and like knows my voice and like knows who I am on stage and who I am in life and who I want to be, and so she can it's not like she's sitting down to write for that, but she's like, hey, what about this? And then I there are things from her experience, like like not just this, but topical. Like she sometimes experiences painful periods, and so I'm like, I'm gonna write some jokes about painful periods that I wouldn't have written had I not experienced. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this is your experience, but I'm like, I think it's important for there's such a stereotype that like women comedians are always talking about their periods, and I'm trying to balance it not by getting women to stop, but I'm like, I'm gonna be like, hey, guys are talking too much. Guys are talking not. I think guys are not talking enough about women's periods.
I'm always like,
people's periods.
I need a man's opinion on this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love this. I think the world needs more girlfriend and wife guys that are about it, that are not fake about it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, not the fake wife guys. This is real wife guy energy here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, truly, like, I understand that there are people, like, I feel very fortunate. I've, like, my life has been, I mean, I'm glad that I love that I get to do comedy. Number one, that this is my living, that that I meet so many wonderful people, such as yourselves, like other, people who are really, loving the good love out there in the world and doing their thing. And it's just, and that I met this person who, previously I was married in my 20s, and that was, and then I wasn't, and I was like, oh yeah, so not for me. And then had various other, I've had good relationships and just things that, weren't compatible for various reasons. Somebody doesn't want kids. Somebody doesn't want the same structure of relationship, or some various.
A lot of people can't deal with being with a comedian when it's like you're on the road. I need someone who's like here all the time.
Oh yeah, and so she travels with me a lot. Like she is in LA right now, and we after the pandemic, we started like going on road trips most places. Like we'll drive to her family's in Missouri, and we travel very well together. Listen to a lot of podcasts.
That's very important.
It's the best.
Can you travel together? That's the true test of a relationship.
Oh yeah,
but another test of a relationship. Can you watch TV together? See,
wow.
Do you though? Do you watch TV together?
We watch
do you like
a ton. So I probably, if there was a time in our life when we were in Edinburgh in 2018 that we didn't watch as much because we're doing shows and going to shows all the time. Then we get back to the place we're staying. I feel like in another country we don't have access to all the same stuff. So like we watched like a thing or two, and we like read books, and we're like, that's nice, and like an aspiration to not watch as much all the time. But there is so much great TV art, and also so much Love is Blind and such as well. So we did last night. Most recent thing we did watch the reunion of this season, and so that is our. There was a movie that came out years ago that I didn't see, where it's like a horror movie where it's like somebody, like a Saw type villain, captures people and puts them in like a situation where like water's gonna drown them, but the thing that makes the water level rise is people clicking and watching the link, that's what we're doing. Like Rini has actually likened Love is Blind to like they're gladiators. They're modern day. They're sacrificing their bodies, their minds, their lives for our entertainment. But we watch. We probably almost every night. Like if I have shows like out here, sometimes I'm getting in late and we're not watching something every night. But at home, almost certainly most nights we watch a few episodes of something. Lately we watched The Studio. That was super funny.
Did you like it?
I think it's great. I love Seth Rogen. I think he's super funny and smart, but I think they did a really awesome, like it's massive what they've done.
I kind of thought after the first few episodes I would get kind of bored with the premise, and it's very like Hollywood, aren't we so amazing? Oh, the beauty and magic of Hollywood. But even by the end, I was still on board. Like by that episode where everyone is just like on drugs, I'm just, you sold me. It made me like Dave Franco.
Everyone, they did a good job with everyone being, either as we imagine themselves to be, or most of them playing, I assume, not themselves at all, but just like like Bryan Cranston, a nice man playing a lunatic. Everyone's a lunatic. And so I feel like it's such a good thing where it's not just like, hey, everyone, we're great. I mean, it's like, we're rich and powerful.
And this is how you lose your mind in Hollywood.
Oh, the scene where like he's on the phone and the doctor that he's dating is on the phone, and she's like, is the person going to live? And he's like, is there enough diarrhea in the scene? Like incredible. So that show's great. And so we have our Apple subscription for a brief time to
that's when I
dip in and out
of.
So we're doing I'm watching The Morning Show. I love The Morning Show.
Finally.
Yes.
You're like the first guest who's watching The Morning Show, which I watch. Do you?
No, I just
finished
The Studio.
It's good.
It's good, and it's gotten even better this season.
Yes.
It took it a while to get as good as it is now.
It was totally, I feel like it reminds me of my experience with The Good Wife, which is one of my favorite shows.
Love
The Good Wife, The Good Fight, and now, so weird. I mean, we're enjoying Elsbeth. It's a very different show.
Elsbeth.
Yeah, it's so interesting that they're just like, we'll put her like over here now.
Yep.
But I mean, Good Wife and Good Fight are like high art, like drama. They're funny. Like they're like, I feel like Breaking Bad type. Like they're in that
good
conversation.
Yeah,
really, really good. So
and
we
the
watched
Morning
those.
Show, it has gotten there for me. In the beginning, it was ridiculous when you had like Stephen Carell's character like driving off a cliff in Italy. It was like, okay, we've lost the plot a little bit. But it's back now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's such a good premise for, like, that because they're dealing with current events, but like a year later or 2 years later,
Yeah.
so that we all know we know what's important, what happened in real life, and we're like, oh, it's like these people are in real life. Like while this plane is crashing, we're like,
Yeah.
oh man, we got it. Like the
Like, they're like, oh no, they're like, is it Boeing? Oh no. And it's like, wow, that's real. They ripped from the headlines a bit.
yeah, it's good.
How do you feel about Bradley Jackson? Because I hate her. How do you?
I mean, here, like this is Reese Witherspoon's character.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that hardly anyone on the show is like a hero.
Yeah.
You know, there's like everyone at any point. You're not really. I mean, who are you rooting for? Like, because it's the kind of thing, like sometimes it's like a Sopranos like thing or a Breaking Bad thing where you're like, well, this person's trying to get away with a thing.
Yeah.
I hope they get away with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're really, I'm like not totally caught up. I'm like maybe a couple episodes back,
okay.
but there are some things that are happening that we're like, oh, what a connection between these two characters. And then I feel like so much TV is like people have a personal life and they have a professional life. And either one of them would be fine, but then something like crosses wires between the two. Like I remember, did you watch The Practice when it was on?
Oh yeah.
And I feel like this was like,
Mom
you
and
know,
I love The
Oh,
Practice.
yeah,
Bad,
Dylan McDermott
yes.
playing,
Oh, yeah.
you know, a defense attorney dating a prosecutor, and like one of them like overhears the other one on the phone, and they're like, well, now I have to use this information to vociferously defend my client, even if it costs me my relationship. Or the Lincoln lawyer,
Lincoln
they
Lawyer's
just
good.
they do such a good job of just
Yeah.
like twisting, like real drama, not like a sitcom. I like sitcoms,
Yeah.
but like a sitcom is sometimes like, I lost my wedding ring and I don't want to tell my partner.
wanna tell
What
my-
if you
yeah.
just did, and then the show
And
wouldn't
the show
exist?
would end,
yeah.
and it's a little too goofy. But the morning show, you're like, yeah, how is like he gonna get his job back if he has to fire his mentee who even got him the job in the first? And you're just like, moral dilemmas everywhere. And I think I started to hate Bradley when they did the whole January 6th thing.
Oh, sure.
They put that on TV. They put that on.
Well,
episode. Aw.
it was like she's a reporter and she was there reporting it, and like,
her brother
filming,
was there.
But then she realizes her brother is there and like pushed an officer or something. And then at the FBI is like, we want all your footage so we can identify these people. But she cuts out the clip of her brother and then they realize like,
Because
it's footage.
family,
Because
you
it's
know,
family,
as
and
we
then-
learned from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Very important.
And then they figure out like, oh, this was doctored footage, but it's like a whole thing. And then like he ends up going to prison, and like she does or something.
She's
and-
like in trouble, but she's not in jail. But she's
Yeah.
like, you know, the FBI is keeping their eye
yeah,
on her.
and she has to like leave for a while, and I was just like, this is dumb. Like, yeah, send your brother. He's gonna do it anyway. He has to go to prison. Like,
Well,
I can't stand her,
I'm
but-
sorry that happened to you.
yeah,
But yeah,
that
the
was
show,
tough for me to watch and get through.
I loved Juliana Margulies on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so that's one that I watch more than Rini does. So I have my shows that I watch on my own. Like these days, I'm catching up on Abbot Elementary and
Yeah.
English Teacher, and we watched the first season of English Teacher together.
Yeah, I loved the
It's-
first season
It's so
of
funny.
English Teacher.
But yeah, now I watch Matlock on my own, which is kind of just like,
Are you like,
Yeah,
there's some shows.
I watch it sometimes. Like I'll just be like, I like Kathy Bates.
Yeah,
Let's put
Kathy
it
Bates is
on.
great. It's their show. I watch it like while I'm washing dishes or like brushing my teeth at
Yeah.
night. And like there's some shows that I'll like watch on a plane, and like
Some
there's
shows are plain shows.
and some shows that are like there's some shows that my mom loves that I also like. We both love the Good Wife, and we both love like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But like my mom started watching like after the Good Wife, I think Madam Secretary was on, and like I
Yeah.
probably watched an episode. I'm like there's so many TV shows. This is not must-see TV for me. But at a certain point, I started watching it while I was doing dishes, or like The Flash.
Very
You know what I
good,
mean?
yeah.
And so Matlock is a show. It's sort of like for the same reason that I'm sure like some people watch all of the NCISs or the CSIs,
Yeah.
where like
or the
I can
the 911s.
yeah,
The
I
911
I can
Nashville.
zone out for a sec. I don't have to watch every episode. I can zone out. Like Matlock, there is a plot that
Yeah.
has more than like if you just come into one episode, you're like, who's trying to
like
steal
it's
from
the
what?
long time. But
Who's-
like you're mostly gonna get what's going on.
If you watch the previously on, I think you should be
Yeah.
okay with Matlock. But yeah, mostly it's just like I'm like, oh, my mom likes this. I'm watching it. It's
yeah.
comfortable.
We
it
talk
feels
about it
good.
sometimes, and I get to be like, yeah, I did see that one. Oh yeah, that scene was good.
Oh yeah, we got my girlfriend and I. We watched Gilmore Girls for the first time
Oh.
like maybe a year or two ago,
Wow.
and then we got my mom is watching it now with her boyfriend she watched it once and she's watching it for the second time with her boyfriend, and she's like, she's like, I'm watching it, and I like know that I saw everything, but so many things are surprising me.
There's
like
things
you can't remember like 7 seasons worth of things. One of my favorite moments.
Who's your favorite Gilmore Girl?
Oh, good. I mean, of Lorelai or Rory or anybody.
And I include Emily.
Oh yeah. I mean, then Emily.
Of course, she's the best one.
She's Kelly Bishop.
Yeah.
We watched like her in other movies just to.
Incredible.
Here's one of my favorite things. So obviously the 4 seasons, like the reunion that came 10 years later. That not for us. We finished and then we started watching them. My favorite moment, maybe of the whole show, but definitely my favorite moment of the 4 seasons is the Stars Hollow musical. We started watching that. We were like, it's like an acid trip.
Yes.
And it's so funny that Lorelai is watching it and thinking it's bad, and we're like, what are you? This is like the greatest thing.
Community theater that has ever happened.
If those songs are in my head, I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a fun thing that now, every once in a while my mom's like, we're on season 4, episode 3. Like Richard's enjoying it now. Yeah.
You get into it eventually.
Yeah. It's good. We, on the plane here, Rini and I started watching. I've watched many times, at least several times, The West Wing, and Rini has not.
Yeah.
Rini grew up homeschooled without a lot of like TV and she had like 4 movies in her house. One was like The Little Princess and a few, Some Like It Hot. And so, some good stuff, but like
I did like Some Like It Hot.
It's good.
Yeah,
we
did the musical at my high school.
Oh, cool.
Sugar,
we saw it on Broadway, and it was good.
It was good,
especially with the fact that like the gender issues today are different than when they made the movie, but they really made it work.
Yeah. My high school, they did a little twist where there's the like Old Men Need Love Too song. And they had the girls dress up as old men.
Nice.
And then the guys were like the girl. And so it was,
amazing. Yeah. But during the pandemic and or around it, like Rini had never seen like an episode, really maybe she's seen 1 episode of Friends or so we watched all of Friends, all of Seinfeld, all of Breaking Bad, all of Better Call Saul, all of 6 Feet Under. Yeah.
You're watching a lot.
Yeah.
You got to start with all the classics.
Yes.
I mean, that's all stuff that's fun to rewatch.
Oh yeah. We loved Monk.
Oh, I love Monk.
God, Tony Shalhoub.
I love Monk.
So good.
So
we have some shows that are like fun to like if it's like super late and we might be falling asleep. Where one of those for us now is Psych. Like that whole suite of like your Burn Notice
channel?
or White Collar USA.
Yes. Oh, those are the classics.
Characters Welcome.
Yeah, Characters Welcome. I miss TV like that, honestly.
Yeah, it's happening. Everyone, have you ever watched Leverage? You know that one?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. That's in that category
too.
These
are all the things I watch in hotel rooms. These are my hotel room.
Yeah, hotel room,
like
airplanes.
Airplanes, and I'm just like, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna get a little procedural. It's gonna be nice and tidy by the end of the episode. I'm gonna love it.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for. You mentioned Abbott Elementary. What do you think of this new season?
I'm enjoying it. Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting. I feel like they are well taken care of. So I don't even have to like episode by episode. Like it's rare for me to like. I guess is that true? Is it true what I'm about to say that I stop watching a show? Like if I like it, here's the one show that I remember I stopped watching. Because at a certain point I was like, I don't know, a frog, that had heated up too much. And I was like, ow. But there was a time when I was watching The Wire, which I loved. I watched multiple times all the way through. The Wire is incredible. But at the same time that I first watched The Wire, I was watching Desperate Housewives. And because started watching it because I was like, people were watching it. People were talking about it. I want to know what the people know, Yeah. And I watched it. I was like, oh, and it was a great antidote to The Wire. The Wire, I'm like, what is going on? I have to really pay attention. It's like reading.
You get like I would have anxiety attacks watching. You're just like, and then Desperate Housewives, fun.
Yeah, they're like, there's a narrator who's like, hey, there's a mystery, but we'll solve it.
We'll get to that.
At the end, there'll be another one for next season.
Yeah.
But then, like, I probably watched like 6 seasons, and eventually, like, they jumped ahead in time. And
I
was
did
like,
give up on that one.
I was like, I think my life will be more full if I have different things going on in it. But Abbott Elementary, nowhere near. I mean, I'm with it.
Yeah. I'm still laughing. The latest episode, the one where they're like camping in the woods and it's like I thought it was the best episode of the season.
Oh,
so
I think I'm one behind. So because of this trip, but I think is it the Halloween episode?
Yeah.
I'm right behind the Halloween episodes. I've watched everything up to there. You know what? I feel like that show is like in line with like Parks and Rec and like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and I mean the Good Place kind of. I feel like Good Place is something different and wonderful. One of my favorites for many different reasons.
Oh yeah.
But like all of these shows have like really strong characters and they. What I really love, like on like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like Captain Holt played by Andre
R.I.P.
Braugher, rest in peace. Like so I watched him on Homicide from the beginning, and just he's so good, and so seems like such a nice human being, and just an incredible, so funny, and like I love that his character is basically like robotic and just like super regimented,
literal,
neuroatypical, just like this is the way things are. But then every once in a while, like each of these characters has like one like like flaw in there, like, not even a flaw, but he's just like that. His vicious like rivalry,
his rivalry with
Madeline Wunsch, Kira Sedgwick,
Sedgwick.
That it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make if he was like doesn't make sense for the character, but he's a human. He's a human being. It makes them more human, and it's so endearing and delightful. And he's just like will sacrifice everything he cares about for this petty vendetta
or anything with like his sweet little dogs.
Yeah, and then
really, maybe I should do a Brooklyn Nine-Nine rewatch. It got a little canceled back in like 2020 when people were like, it's basically propaganda.
Yeah, but
trying to make cops look nice, and I was like,
they did in the final season have Rosa leave and addressing those concerns. They're trying.
They tried, and then people were kind of like, well, now they're just trying because after all these seasons, and I'm like, I don't know that I would say Brooklyn Nine-Nine made me go, wow, cops are nice and I trust them. It kind of made me be like, they seem incompetent and funny.
And it was a fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly you can watch the I don't know if people aren't already on board with there are problems with policing, then like I don't think the show is going to move the needle for you in any direction. And in fact, maybe that final season would make people who are like, oh, cops, the good guys, I love them. But wait, she was a good guy the whole time, but now she's like, there are problems because of the way that police are policing minorities. That's something. Maybe they'll just stop watching, or maybe they'll be like, these people. But But yeah, I mean, I did watch that all again also while doing dishes, like, maybe in the past year or two. And yeah, I mean, the humor certainly holds up. It's funny. Yeah. The characters they're endearing and beloved and adorable. And yes, of course.
It's strong. And I think like it doesn't get mentioned as much as like the Parks and Rec anymore because people were like, oh, propaganda. And it's like,
yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Some people said, like, did you watch South Side?
A little bit, not all. Not as.
It's really great, and they have they have like two cop characters in it who like are kind of good cops because like they care about the community somewhat, but then also they're clearly very corrupt. Also have problems. Like one of them is in trouble because he he's black but attacked a black professor because he was like, this can't be your house.
Wow.
And so and it's hilarious, but people were like, well, isn't this kind of trying to make us feel like cops can be relatable and stuff? And I'm like, no, they're dumb. Like they're not good cops. It's not like this is pro. It's like making fun of how the cops are bad.
Yeah, and I'll also look. I don't mean to go out on a limb here. Like they are human beings. They are, as everyone. Like there are flaws, and like I do believe that there are people who get into it because they want to help. And
I watch enough true crime to know there are some cops who are like, I want to help people.
And the system is the problem. So it's not any obviously there are some individuals like Hari Kondabolu.
Yeah,
he used to have a joke about when people were like, it's just a few bad apples, and he's like, but the rest of that phrase is spoils the bunch. A few bad apples spoil the bunch. And yeah, I mean these are obviously important things to be thinking about, like how like there weren't even police before, like not even for the whole time our country existed. Like it was only like the late 1800s that it came from like slave patrols. And it's so weird that but once you're born, once you start being a person, everything from before you're just like, well, that's just how it is. Like there's kids born now that are like ice exists.
Ice has always been around. It's like,
of course
it actually no.
And then
CSA always a thing. No.
Yeah, the East Wing of the White House has always been a thing. So it's so interesting, like that. Obviously, there's some legit propaganda that people are like, Blue Bloods, hey, a nice family, and they're all cops. My mom loves it.
They shot a lot of Blue Bloods in Chicago when I lived there, and they would have these like really fun, crazy like parties for the show, like premieres and rap parties. I went to a few. I never watched the show. But the most drunk I ever got was on a Blue Bloods themed cocktail. So respect to that show.
But With respect to Abbott Elementary, I feel like similar to Parks and Rec, like the characters are all so strong.
Yeah.
And then, but as the seasons go on, you get like more cracks in the facades, like more humanity showing through, like more, at the beginning you're like, these people hate each other, but now they're like, it trends, it's not like the, as lofty as like the moral arc of the universe, bends towards justice. But I feel like, the social arc of these shows like bends towards like community and
like
togetherness
and family, and it's like I do like what they're doing with like Gregory and how he's like we're seeing more of like how he's not this perfect guy who like should be the principal, and it's like, oh no, he's a mess too.
Yeah, like I mean, I've never been diagnosed with like OCD, but if I was gonna get diagnosed with anything, maybe it would be that. But I'm a little too ordered about it, I feel like. But I feel like there are ways in which these things are a spectrum that they serve me, these aspects of myself. I'm like, I keep track of everything in my schedule and all my jokes in these different notebooks, and like if I reified them too much, if I put them on a pedestal too much to me, it must be this, which I have been in the past. I'm like, we have to leave at this time or else we'll be 2 minutes late, and then my girlfriend is sad about that, and I'm like, but and I do still get like more anxiety infused when like we got to leave the house to get to like if it's like a flight, that's important. If it's like the start of a movie, that's different. If it's a friend's like one time I was like, we got to get to a friend's brunch.
If we ever had to go somewhere together, I'd drive you insane. I am literally like, we're good. Like we can, if we leave, we'll be like 5 minutes late.
My girlfriend is Rini is like not time blind, but like she has authorized me. She has deputized me to like if we have to go somewhere. She's like, tell me a different time. Tell me if we have to leave at 1. I don't even know what time, but I'll be like 11.
Yeah,
noon.
My partner has to do that with me. He'll be like, oh, we were supposed to be at that thing at 1:30, and I'm like, oh right, okay, and then we're going. I'm like, it says 2:15, you lied.
Yeah.
And he's like, but now we're going to be on time. And it's like, okay.
But what was I want to say about Abbott Elementary? And there's one other show that was like that. But I love that. Oh, you know what it reminded me of? You ever watched The Magicians?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I feel like on that show as well, obviously different feel, different vibe, but same thing, like the characters, like much more like jagged edges in the beginning, but then like one, like later, I mean, pause and watch the whole series before I spoil one thing, but a character dies, and then is like we come across in the underworld again, and then another character dies, and like these guys are like button heads in their lives, but like in the underworld, where the guy he's like a super aggressive guy in life, but now he's just chill. He's like himself still, but he's like, yeah, man, everything's cool. And I was like, wow, I really like that, because I feel like if the idea that at the end of life or afterlife or in between, if there is a bardo of a kind, like, the things, the anxieties, the kleshas, as they say in Buddhism, these are the obstacles that, they can just like you can let go. Like Ram Dass calls like dying, like just like taking off a really tight shoe. Yeah. Like we're all clenched in life. Yep. And you're like, and so just as these shows continue, it's so interesting because I also, Seinfeld, a masterpiece of like no hugging, no learning, but I'm also like, I think you could do like one hug, one learn,
I like a little
per
show.
season.
Yeah, a little bit. You watch so much television.
It's true.
I absolutely love that.
Thank
I feel
you.
like you're watching old stuff. You're watching a lot of new stuff people don't. I Love You Drop, Elsbeth, Matlock. I'm catching up on those. Also on my watch list this week, Grey's Anatomy.
Let's get into it.
That's what are they on season 22? Okay.
22, and it has already been renewed for another. Yes, I've never stopped watching. I've been watching the show since I was like 14 years old, and I will never stop watching. And
if I may just jump in, we watched recently this year all of Scandal, and I watched that when it was on initially. And I was like, great. That was a show that I thought, like, I watched the first episode and I'm like, I think I might be the only person who will like this, because it felt like a beach read. I'm like, but then as it got bigger and better, and
it just became like the show everyone talked about.
Shonda is so good.
I ship them completely.
Oh yeah, they're like in love in real life. I believe it. Yeah. I did reviews for the AV Club of Scandal, so I watched every episode, like talked about about every single thing that I was obsessed with it.
Something happens it's so good. And then on the flip side, similar time we watched all of This Is Us, which was a show my mom was trying to get me to watch for years.
I did the beginning, stopped, and then I just came back for the last season because I was like, I guess I want to see how this. And I came back when I was like, how'd the dad die? I want to see.
I mean, it's emotion porn, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's very like manipulative.
Yes, and I'm so ready. I'm happy to be manipulated. Grey's Anatomy, yes, make me cry. And they always do their big tragedy. That's what Grey's is famous for. But what people don't know is the last few seasons, they stopped doing that.
Really?
They stopped, like everyone would make fun of them and be like, why would anyone even work at this hospital because it's so dangerous? So seasons like 14 to 20-ish, no major emergencies, no interns dying. Everyone is just safe.
Wow.
No plane crashes?
No plane crashes, no major emergencies. And if there are, people are surviving them. No one's dying. So it was kind of like boring Grays. It wasn't great. Now they're back to murder. Now
Okay.
they're back to interns dying.
What's with the meteor shower? I have to ask you that. It's a big crossover, and there's meteors, and it's hitting the hospital.
I have not seen
in
this.
the ad.
Yeah. I have
Grey's
not
Anatomy.
seen that. I mean, I did not see the next up on the episode, but I can see that happening.
It was in the ad, yes.
Just already in this season. They're off with a bang. Last season ends with this woman holding the hospital hostage with an oxygen tank and like a lighter, and she's like, I'll blow up this hospital if you don't do surgery on my daughter.
Wow.
So she forces the surgery, but that doesn't help her daughter and actually makes everything a lot worse. And then she's like, the oxygen tank wasn't even full anyway. It was empty. I took it from my husband's truck. And they get her out of there, and they're all like, everything's good. And then the husband later is like, that oxygen tank wasn't empty. It was full of oxygen. And now it says empty. And then everyone's like, oh, no, that hospital room's full of oxygen. And in a bad way where something is going to explode.
Right.
And then, of course, Link is in there about to do an infusion with a wire.
Fire something.
With fire, and everything blows up. And so we're off to a bang.
Yes.
And
Wow.
this season we start with like who survives, because it's like, is this going to be another one where they're just like, oh, they did an explosion but nobody died? No, we got death. Dr. Beltran, she's gone.
Wow.
Barely mattered, really. She was like the new lesbian they brought in. Every season they bring in some lesbians and then they kill them
have
off.
to.
Oh yeah, I assume I'm like I watched Grey's Anatomy like a little bit, like a few seasons early on, and I'm like, and then I like to see the human beings on it pop up other places, like we watched and This Is Us, or in Just Like That. I'm sorry, every once in a while I call and Just Like That and This Is Us, and Just Like That, like there's such that one only watching for like what like the
that one was like an acid trip every episode. I was just like, this isn't good, but I can't stop watching it.
It was like the uncanny valley. It's like did AI do this? Like,
Yeah.
But like, did these
But
people like?
humans did write those scripts.
It's so fascinating.
Like in the last season when everyone was like, wait, they're saying this character's dad died, but they literally were at his funeral in the first season.
They killed him off like twice. Right?
Yeah, because they just literally, the writers just forgot. And it's like, you guys don't even care. Like,
And then there's like some characters, like some actors playing different characters,
Yeah.
like from Sex and the City to.
yeah, and it's like, but you, and it's just like, whatever.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, sometimes people look the same.
Whatever. It's, yeah.
But would you say Grey's Anatomy is, based on everything you know about me now, should Rini and I watch all 22 seasons?
No.
Yeah.
But I would say you would love the first 6 seasons.
Cool.
That's like very good television.
Excellent.
That's worth watching, especially 1 and 2. That is perfect TV. All of it, no. If you want to go somewhat long, I would say watch until the musical episode. That is when I tell people to drop off. That is even when I, as a deep, true Grey's fan, took a break. Like, at the musical episode, I was just like, they did that to us. I can't believe that they did that to us. Like, it was horrible. One of the doctors is in a coma and hallucinates an entire
Sure.
Yeah. They had who was on and Just Like That,
Sarah Ramirez.
Yes, Sarah Ramirez, and it was just watch up to that,
thank
and then
you.
you can just drop off. And then I mean, if you did want to come back because it's good again because they're killing people again. I mean, like an intern died. Oh, we're back to the good stuff, the classics with Grey's.
Could we talk about the range of Sarah Ramirez from Grey's to and Just Like That, please? Amazing. Her character and Just Like That.
I mean, Range is a human being as well.
Yeah, I mean, Callie Torres, one of the best. on Grey's.
I remember enjoying that character.
Everyone loved Callie, and then they just kind of were like, write her off. She's in Boston now with like her new girlfriend or something, and she just disappeared and never comes back. And they sent her to the lesbian parking lot of death.
Come on.
That's what
Come on. That's such a trope.
That's what they do on Grey. It's called that because there's this one Erica Hart. She's like a cardiosurgeon who's a lesbian, and she was actually the first lesbian on the show, even though they always try to be like it was Arizona and Callie. But it was Erica Hart. She was the first lesbian, and at the end of the season, she just like says, well, bye guys, I'm gonna like go get dinner. It's been a great shift. And she walks to the parking lot and we never see her again. And it's just the lesbian parking lot of death. She's gone.
That's like what they used to, I used to watch lots of Law and Order, and I feel like Law and Order, a show that like for, the original, you learned almost nothing about the characters. Like every once in a while you'd find out like some major thing in their life, just like in passing. They'd be like, oh, so that marriage is over, or whatever it could be. And then you're like, oh, and then they're gone,
Like, oh, yeah, the divorce was tough. And then it's like, lost the house, I got to move. And then they're just gone. And that is what they do with the lesbian. Or they kill them like they did Dr. Beltran. So Grey's on the watch list. If you're also still watching, let's talk, because there's like probably 10 of us. So, yeah.
You watching Chair Company?
I was going to bring up Chair Company, and I'm loving it.
It's Tim Robinson Robinson and Nathan Fielder are like creating new flavors of entertainment experience, because it doesn't even, the question of like, is it a comedy or is it something, it's definitely comedic, and it's definitely something else.
It's absurd.
Like,
I love it.
The tone, like their faces, the music, they're like, it's perfect. Like he's so good.
Just every the first episode when he just like is grabbing the guy's shirt, just I'm laughing so hard. And it's like, why is this even that funny? And it's just everything about the casting, the outfit choices, the ridiculousness of the shirt.
The plot.
Yeah, just really specific choices.
Yes.
That are like, it's kind of like any, like, if you want to do comedy, like I do stand-up comedy, and if anybody's like, how do I do comedy? Like I'm on like this subreddit where people like aspiring comedians are like, how do I do this? And it's like, well, just start doing it. Like it's literally the only thing to do. Like you can take classes, you can read books, listen to podcasts, like listen to whoever your favorites are, like see what their process is, see how they started. But everyone who started, anyone who does it is like, you just do it. Like make a choice. Like what do you care about? What's meaningful to you? What's funny to you? What's interesting to you? Be like, what if it's this? Like Rini loves Murakami, the author, and he there's an interview with him once, and I've read she's read everything of his. I've read a few of his. She really loves specifically like the care that he takes when he introduces like a scene where like a person is just like chopping vegetables for dinner, listening to jazz, like breaking the spaghetti, putting it into like it starts to bubble in the pot, and like like it doesn't advance the story. It's just like a meditation. It's like ASMR in written form. And somebody interviewed him once, like, and read this interview, and they were like at a diner, and they're like, how do you decide what details to include in the book? And he just says something like, oh, so are you enjoying that, that cheese sandwich that you're having there with the crusts cut off and the, crisp lettuce sitting next to it, lightly dressed? He just put that in the book. It's just like anything, just like write it down, like think of it, notice it, and put it. And that's what Tim Robinson, they're just like what if we zoom in over here on this face, on this thing,
or this like necklace, or this it's just it's like one of those things that makes me excited about TV again. Kind of like when the rehearsal debuted.
I loved the second season even more than the first was interesting. But the second one was like perfect.
I was so mad he didn't get that Emmy. And he deserved it. It was so good. That's the Jericho, go watch that. That is top of the watch list. There's some other things right now, but I feel like they're really Murdoch Murders on Hulu.
Oh, I don't know it.
Yeah, it's about the Murdoch family that Patricia Arquette's in it. It's doing okay.
Sure. I watch
some performances
more like fiction TV than nonfiction.
Yeah.
But we watched Rini is like more the true crime watcher than I. Like a lot of cult documentaries and
stuff.
Her experience.
Oh, I mean, there's a new like cold case murder show that just came out on Hulu that's all about like cold case desert murders.
Wow.
Love it. Yeah.
Cool. And I feel like we were talking about like why is it, is the audience ship for, true crime cult stuff like more heavily like leaning female, and is like she's like we gotta be careful. We gotta learn what's possible.
I need to know what's going on out there because it could happen to me.
Yeah, like we don't love being scared like by like fictional horror or gore, but she's like, if something's real, like
it's actually scary.
Gotta take that in.
Yeah, it's like, don't help a man if he asks you to put something in his car. No. He's gonna kidnap you.
Stop.
Yes.
You'll learn. You'll watch and you'll learn. And I have people like, oh, then the women are too terrified and it's all because of true crime. And I'm like, I mean, I don't put like a million locks on my door, but like, the true crime is true crime. It's true. Like, there are things that happen.
Yeah, art imitates life, especially when it's a documentary.
Yeah, and it's so. Yeah.
I mean, like it's good to like you want to have the Buddhists talk about the middle path, and I think as an analogy that makes sense in a lot of ways. Like you don't want to live your life so terrified that you lock yourself in a room and never leave your house and you just atrophy.
Yeah.
Right. But you also don't want to be, like
helping a guy put stuff in his car in a parking lot.
Exactly.
Walking across a dark parking lot by yourself. Walking home alone. Don't do those things. Yeah, that's how they get you. That's how they all of the people got basically.
Get your Wolverine hands with your keys,
Yeah. Oh, very necessary. So
totally.
I do want to play Be the Shark with you.
Please.
Because you've named a lot of shows, and I want to see and do you have a moment you want to defend? Is there one that came to mind?
Let's see. So it's a controversial moment that like everyone doesn't like.
People typically say that's when the show jumped the shark. It's horrible, but you love it.
That's a good. I'm sure that I'll think about it. Well, if you have one to start, and if it pops up, I'll let it marinate.
To you,
yeah.
So you mentioned Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
A show that I think was pretty good until the end,
mm-hmm.
but a lot of people say it became too corny and jumped the shark when Joe Biden made a cameo. People said, "What are we doing here?"
I'm happy to defend that because I truly I loved it till the end. I mean, yeah.
How was it not?
Oh, okay, please.
And that, though, I think, is one I can defend.
Okay.
Because for Leslie, it had been a long thing where she loved him. It made a lot of sense.
A perfect parenthetical closing, yeah.
But what I think is more the jump the shark moment is when Hillary Clinton went on Broad City.
That was about to say that.
And a lot of people say that is when it was like, what's going on with the show now? They're too famous. That's when it lost me.
Mm-hmm.
Please defend Hillary Clinton's appearance on Broad City. You thought it was going to be easy.
I did. So I love Broad City, and I did watch it till the end. And I think they're they're geniuses. They're wonderful. They're hilarious, and I guess to defend it, I mean, the two options are to have her on the show or to not have her on the show. And like you're offering I don't want to put words in your mouth. A position could be made like if she doesn't like serve the show in a way that like Joe Biden did on Parks and Rec because he was already like a character. They didn't make it up. They didn't shoehorn him in.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, we got Joe Biden and
after
her character
all these years
already
of her character being obsessed.
Yes, perfect. And so this there was no mention of Hillary Clinton specifically leading up to this. There was
it wasn't even like they were into politics in any sort of way.
No, but I think that it's just a kind of another example of like take a big swing, like do it. They're like if you can have like. So their argument and my argument for them is like if you can have one of the most noteworthy human beings of our time, like I don't know what time, top 50, 100, whatever, but like one of the most recognizable human. And I'm not saying you should do that just because you can.
So we should put Donald Trump in every show now.
That's a great argument. I don't know that I'm gonna win this argument, but I do think, especially if the person's not overall like harmful. Like don't platform a Nazi, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying to do this for anyone, but like I'm pro on a if it's a binary, which nothing is, but if we're binary, Hillary Clinton, yes or no? Yes. Like for Hillary, we all are more for Hillary Clinton than against Hillary Clinton here. And so I feel like they feel the same way. Like they weren't bringing her on to make fun of her.
Yeah.
They were,
it was very much like, oh, she's amazing.
She's cool. Wow. And so I do understand the point. Like if they had been like, no, because our show has a particular integrity and spirit and vibe and message, and if there were a way we could do it that would make it make sense in the world of the show, yes, but we didn't figure that out, so no, then absolutely I would respect that. But also if somebody was like, hey, Myq, you have a show and Hillary Clinton wants to do something, I'm like, I'm gonna let Hillary Clinton do a thing,
Clinton
do my thing.
You're the key to the youth vote.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be that key.
If that's it, I mean, and if that is one of the reasons that, certainly I understand why Hillary Clinton wanted to do it, and they want to help Hillary Clinton.
They want to help Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that it like renders, the same way that, if you're a person who's like female Ghostbusters, but my childhood, right?
Yeah.
Like keep enjoying. You're still a child. Don't worry. Keep watching the one that you want.
Okay.
It doesn't like making a new thing doesn't take away from. They're not erasing
you can still
all of the
Broad
old
City
ones.
Just because Hillary Clinton was like, it's okay. It doesn't change the politics of the show.
You don't have to like that episode. Yeah. You can stop watching. You can do anything that you want. But yeah, for me, I'm like, I had this with, have you read Jesse David Fox's book, comedy book?
Oh, yeah.
He had a whole chapter about Adam Sandler and Adam Sandler movies that made me get back into Adam Sandler movies because I watched, tons. Like I watched Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, Lil Nicky, The Water Boy, like all the, like the first however many.
He was on fire. Yes.
And at a certain point, like I thought that I like grew up. I thought that I became like not the target market, and maybe that's true. But then Jesse like watched all of the movies and like ranked them, and like I hadn't seen Click, and he ranked that one as like the most Adam Sandler movie.
I've heard that, and I've never seen Click.
And he said he ranked them on the measure of like not how good they are or how funny they are, but at how much they achieved what he thinks Adam Sandler was like attempting to
how
achieve.
How much Sandler we're getting.
Yeah. And it was different than all of those other ones, and it was interesting. And like Adam Sandler, of course, he's done so many, like, what's the that movie that was really anxious?
Punch Drunk Love?
No, the Diamond one.
Yeah.
That whatever that one.
Uncut
Gems. Like that. I mean, so good, and I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it again because
it made me way too anxious. Loved it, and I was like, no, can't do that ever again in my life.
But I feel like I was cutting off my nose to spite my face because Jesse makes the point. He's like, all of these movies, like, his goal is to have fun with his friends and make movies that, lots of people will enjoy. And he's achieving that, making hundreds of millions of dollars and employing all of his friends, including Rob Schneider.
His friends are rich. I went to an estate sale. It was one of his producers, and I know it was one of Adam Sandler's producers because he had an entire guest house filled with Adam Sandler posters, memorabilia from movies. This guy living large.
He takes care of his friends.
Yeah.
I have friends who've played basketball with him, and he's a good dude.
Guy.
He's a nice dude.
He hires young comics. He's good.
And so I started, after I read that chapter of the book, I was like, I love Adam Sandler. His stand-up is so good.
Yeah.
His recent specials are
He was
incredible.
my favorite
on SNL
when I was a kid.
It holds up.
It's timeless.
His
little guitar sounds.
Absolutely. Yes. And so I watched, I forget which ones.
And a little cutie.
The one with Andy Samberg, That's My Boy.
Oh yeah.
And I watched a few others, and I'm like, yeah, these are like, not every moment is my favorite moment, but I got same thing on a yes or no, like yes, absolutely. Like I got more joy in my life from watching these movies, and so I feel like Broad City, if you like it, like there's more joy and meaning and fun in Broad City, even if every once in a while once they have Hillary Clinton.
They have Hillary Clinton.
I say. At writ large, I think that's why it's okay.
I would say, Myq, you've defended the moment, and we will no longer blame Broad City for Hillary's loss.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I did
Thank
my best.
you so much for playing.
Thank
You beat the shark.
Thank you. Oh,
Thank
wow.
you. Yeah. Thank you. This was a great episode. This was really, really
fun. I loved
fun.
it. It flew by.
Yeah, it goes so fast. And then I'm always like, there's so much TV to talk about.
Yes.
Love you and come back.
I'd love to.
I'm going to
Thank
be in
you
New
so
York.
much.
Maybe we talk there too.
I would
There's
love
so
to.
much TV.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes.
Where can people follow you? Check out those tour dates.
Yes, of course. Myq Kaplan is spelled a weird way, so if you spell it the way I spell it, it's MyQ Kaplan. That, my social media is that, my website is that, my Substack newsletter, where I write about jokes that I love. It's myqkaplan.substack.com. myqkaplan.com, and a bunch of albums on the various streaming places, a number of specials, including the new upcoming Rini special, which will be on YouTube starting November 19th, 2025. And I've got if you put my name in wherever you want it, I have a podcast. You've been on my podcast. But mainly, if you only remember one thing, congratulations. Have it be the new special, Rini, coming. But also,
November 19th.
Check out my tour dates. I'll be performing, hopefully, where you are, or if not, ask a place near you to bring me.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And, TV Club, we got a lot of stuff coming back, so I'm going to give you quick homework. St. Denis Medical, it's back. Watch it. So good. DMV, I'm loving it. CBS is doing something interesting with comedy. Ghost, I like the new season.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. So watch that. No one's talking about the current season, and we might have some people from the show on the pod. So maybe go watch Ghost. I love this episode they had with the mummy. So yeah, get into that. I feel like that's enough. Also, I'm going to tell you to watch Eileen Wuornos, Queen of the Serial Killers. Give you some true crime. Something a little scary to get you through the weekend. That's it. That's all I got for you. We'll be back next week with another episode. Hey, if you liked this episode, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That's the best way to keep up with new episodes, and there's more here to catch up on. If you want us to talk about your favorite show, leave us a comment.